And now it's time for Ask Roz and Mocha.
Love the Ask Roz and Mocha podcast because we got a whole bunch of interesting, very interesting questions that come through. And of course, we have two of you join us on the phone to ask your question. Hello, Mel Marie. It's Roz and Mocha.
Hi.
How are you today?
Hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Happy to have you on the show today. What is your question?
I was just wondering, it's directed to Roz, how his marriage life is going so far. And I'm asking this because I know they've been living together for some time. And sometimes once you kind of take on that married status, things can change. So I'm just wondering if anything has changed as well since he's been married to Catherine.
No, not one single thing. I tried to think. I tried to think about this the other day. I'm like, because we even like, I guess we hit like our 1 month anniversary of when we got married or whatever. And
Beautiful.
And neither of us even acknowledged it. Like it was the day after where I was like, hey, we've been married a month.
Trouble in paradise?
Yeah. But no, I tried to think if anything had like changed, like even like just.
Did anyone warn you of stuff?
We've been together, like we've been living together for like 14 years now, right? Like, did anything change? No, literally nothing. Like there's nothing that is any different in any way. And I think that is just a sort of testament to how good the relationship is. Like we just continued on. Like there's no new rules or like, hey, now that we're married, you can't do like, there's nothing like that.
You are lucky.
The only, I'll tell you, Roz, and to you, Mel Marie, as well. The one thing that has changed that I'm getting used to with Roz being married is seeing you with a wedding ring on.
Oh yeah, but you know what though? Here, the crazy thing is, like for years I always wore a lot of rings, and I always wore a ring on that finger.
Did you?
I always did. Yeah. And then I stopped wearing rings.
To keep the ladies away?
No, because it was the one that fit. Right? Like I had.
Because like you said, for a long time you went without wearing any rings, and then the other day I saw you and you're wearing your wedding ring right now.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time to get used to.
I know, and I've been beating the hell out of it too. Just like doing a bunch of work with it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's fine. But that's really the only thing is that, the wedding ring, I guess, is the only thing. I haven't lost it yet. Put it down a couple times, forgot where I put it, had to go find it.
Yeah.
Other than that, like nothing.
Have you ever placed it somewhere on account, like you completely forgot about it, and then you hear Catherine yell, by the way, your wedding ring's here?
No. And I really don't think she would. Like with my stuff, I don't leave anything around because in the house, my stuff is always a problem, right? And I don't know what it's like in your house, but like,
well, I just put my stuff away.
Catherine could come home and she could have stuff everywhere, and like Roxy can have stuff everywhere and all this stuff. My computer could be on the side of the couch, and if I get up to go pee and then Catherine starts doing stuff, I'll come back into the living room. Everything will look the exact same.
Yeah.
Only my computer will be in the office. Yeah. Right? Like my stuff is the problem, right? So I tend to really try and not leave my stuff around because then my stuff is the stuff that gets moved, and then she will make executive decisions on where she thinks my stuff should go.
Married life, huh?
Yeah. But it's been like that forever. So no, nothing has really changed at all. It's still fine.
Are you married? Are you married?
I am, yes.
Okay, so to answer your own question, when you got married, did anything change once that official title kind of came into play?
Yeah, well, we dated for about 9 years before we got married, but we didn't live together. So I think, there was a bit of a transition from like living in separate houses to together and like learning each other's habits, some of them good, some of them not so good. But I think like I can relate to that where my husband just leaves things everywhere, and I am a neat freak.
I did that.
Yeah,
I'm a neat freak. So like what Roz was saying, I will go into the room and just put everything away, and he'll come back and be like, "Where's my stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, put it back, like where it belongs." Like, I'm not done with it yet. And I said, "Well, it's just the things living with me you got to get used to, and the things that I got to get used to living with him." So
what are those things that you or that he had? That you had to get used to living with him?
So he snores a lot. And it keeps me up sometimes. And sometimes I have to nudge him in the middle of the night. just to like get him to stop for a few minutes, and then it starts back up again. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Like get him some nasal strips. Like I don't know what to do at this point. I think that's my biggest.
Just let the man sleep. Just let the man sleep. Let the man sleep.
But then I can't sleep.
Well,
it interrupts my sleep.
That sounds like a you problem.
Oh,
I know that sometimes, like when people eventually do get married or moving in together for the first time, because we didn't have to go through any of the shock, right? Like that all happened years ago. But we were the sort, like we just kind of like meshed and there was really nothing. Like we weren't the kind of couple where one person was going to bend to the other's will, right? Like Maury's house, right? Like Maury, there was nothing that Maury brought into that relationship that was going to last cohabitation.
Sure.
Right? Like Maury,
there's zero compromise.
Zero compromise.
Yeah.
When you and Matthew decided to live together, did you know that you were going to have to compromise everything to what Matthew said?
No, not at all. And I go through the whole mess situation as well. The other day, Matthew grabbed me by the arm, pulled me back towards the couch and asked me to look at the dining room and living room and pointed out, he goes, this place is a mess and it's all your stuff.
Oh my God, that's what you do when like the dog on the rug.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Grab the dog by the scruff of the neck.
Oh my God.
So he pulled you into the other room?
So
he pulled you in?
Like a toddler?
So that I could look at it from afar going, do you see how messy this is?
So what do you say to him?
All your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but look how great everything looks.
I could never.
But Matthew is Portuguese, right? So maybe it's a Portuguese thing because I'm Portuguese as well. So.
Oh, you think that's a
But
Portuguese
I don't
thing?
like rub my husband's nose in his mess, but yeah, you tend to point out the mess.
See?
Damn. Yeah. No. So it's been going really well. I will say, married life. The only thing the biggest change for me is just saying my wife. Which I've never said before.
It's always been my girlfriend.
It's always been my girlfriend, Catherine, right? And like even on the show, it's my girlfriend, Catherine.
Yeah.
Roz's girlfriend, Catherine. So now to say, it's just weird to say Roz's wife, Catherine.
So just keep saying girlfriend.
Yeah, I did a couple times.
Mel, that was a great question. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Right.
See you later.
Bye.
Allison said, I've been listening to the show for at least 10 years.
Yeesh.
And I have to know, Roz got his license in 2018 and didn't want to move over for speeders in the left lane. And I want to know if now driving for 5 years, if his stance has changed on that.
Okay, so I drive very fast anyway, right? And what I won't do is if I'm doing like 140, right? And somebody is like racing up behind me, depending on how aggressive they are, I will not move. Because, and here's where I won't move, is if I'm driving in the left lane, right? And I'm doing excessive, like I'm like going like 130, something like that, right? If I see somebody coming up behind me who was also then just in the center lane, then in the right lane, back in the center lane. So if I see somebody who's like super erratic behind me, I'm staying put and I'm just like, go around me.
Yeah.
Do your thing because I'm going to merge when you're going to merge and it's going to be
bad news for everybody.
It's bad news for everybody.
I get it.
So when I see somebody like that or they just completely race behind you and they just sit there, I won't move. You go around me. It's too dangerous because I know your patience are thin right now and that's it. When I was in
Because they'll figure it out.
They will figure it out. Yeah. But no, I don't. And I don't creep people to make them move or anything like that. It was so wild when we were in Portugal. So most of the highways are 2 lanes. And we like to say that the left lane is the fast lane. We call it the fast lane.
Yeah.
And then every now and then somebody will correct you and go, no, it's the passing lane.
Yeah.
Pass and then move back, right? Like so you always get somebody like that. In Portugal, it actually legitimately is the passing lane. So when you're driving
The
on
left.
the left, when you're driving on a highway, that left lane is empty.
Really?
Everybody's in the right until you drive up behind somebody, you pass, and you go directly in front of them. So
Really?
nobody sits in that lane. And if you do sit in that lane, somebody will drive up your ass and start honking.
Until you move over.
Until you move over.
And will they move over?
They will pass you and go in front of you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. People are very aggressive with the rules of the passing lane in a place like Portugal. Like, it's crazy. And it was really difficult for Catherine to get used to because she just used to cruising in a lane. And you're you
find a lane.
You find a lane and you just cruise, and you can't do that. So listen, I don't drive slow.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I couldn't do that in Portugal, man. My road rage would just be flying like crazy.
Honking at you.
Yeah.
Honking
I'm
at
like, oh, you honk at me?
Yes.
And watch what I'm going to do to you.
Yes. Yes.
Edward says here, in terms of looks, do you think you're at your prime now? If not, what age were you at your best?
Mocha.
I would say about 8 years ago, I was probably at my healthiest and physically the most fit, because that was a time where Jenna and I were working out like 5-6 days a week, and our food was on point. I wasn't drinking.
So when was this? This was
this was like before Cruz was born.
Before,
yeah. So I'd say he's 6 now, so it was like 7 and 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was like.
Do you ever have sort of dreams about going back to that?
Oh, I'm on the road right now.
What do you mean you're on the road right now?
I'm working out like crazy right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
And eating healthy and everything.
I mean, of course you are. I could tell. Sorry, that's not what I didn't mean that at all.
I just started, guys. I just started 2 weeks ago.
So you're working.
I had always over the course of years.
You're a fit guy. You've
worked
dipped
out,
in and out.
But
of
now
different
I'm doing like 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week.
Really? Now, do you do it at home or you go to a joint?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Huh? Good for you. What time do you work out in the day?
Usually around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's really?
Yeah.
You got
whenever
energy
you see,
at that time?
whenever you see my phone is on Do Not Disturb, that's usually when I'm working out.
It's always on that for me with you.
How do I know if somebody's phone is on Do Not Disturb?
It says.
What do you mean it says?
It'll say like Mocha's on Do Not Disturb.
But how do I see that?
When you open up like our group chat.
Oh, I would never check that. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know
It's
how to
right
find
there.
somebody.
It's right there.
No. Maury, when do you think you were at your peak?
Twice. So I'd say 98 to 2000.
Okay.
I was like super awesome twink stage.
What does that mean? Describe that
like
to people
super
who may not
skinny,
know.
looked young, like I looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how old were you then?
Like 18, 19?
Mm-hmm.
And then again around my wedding when I dropped like a whole crap ton
You
of
look
weight.
sick. You look sick.
That was when you were on the juice cleanse for like 4 weeks,
Yeah, I'm
right?
gonna start doing that again.
No, you looked.
Oh, you can't do that.
sick when you got married.
But
Your
I was
wedding,
happy.
But your wedding pictures, you don't look well. In your wedding pictures, no, it looks like you guys eloped because you didn't have a lot of time left.
Oh, no.
Right? Like if you weren't outside, I would have swear to God, I would look at that picture and say that you got married at a hospital chapel. Guaranteed.
This is it?
Guaranteed. I would be like, that suit, I bet you has ties at the back.
Damn, son.
The reason you're on an angle is because of the bag hanging. You were actually lying down. The photographer just turned the camera sideways.
I'm so happy.
Oh, man. Also, like Maury, twice. I would say when I was 21. So that's like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
I was in university. I was, like you, Mocha, working out, doing all that type of stuff. I was single, enjoying myself, enjoying life. And when I was 30, so this is like, pre-pandemic, I was doing well.
Yeah.
And then not so well. Yeah.
Pandemic hit.
Yeah, I don't know if I had sort of had many different sort of periods in my life where I was peak, like depending on your tastes, you know what I mean? Right? Like I had sort of like peak rock and roll skid when I was, 18, where I really appealed to that because I did it well and I looked the part. And then when I got a little older, I peaked at something else. My current sort of look where, I don't look like I'm not somebody who you're going to think, oh my God, that guy's in real great shape. You know what I mean? Like I've just never been that. I've always just been skinny and everything else. But I think like for my current look, I think maybe around, I don't know. I like my beard the best now.
Yeah.
Right.
Killer beard.
I like my hair, because you have to understand, I was on television for 17 years, right? And when you're on television, there are just things you can't do. Like for the first 15 years or 16 years when I was on TV, I wasn't allowed to have facial hair, right? Not allowed. I couldn't have my hair longer than a certain point. I always had to get it cut. It had to look a certain way. My body had to fit into clothes that were bought 2 years ago. So like I wasn't really allowed to experiment with looks for 17 years.
How did you convince them? Because I remember there was kind of, you almost had to campaign and get people to vote, fans and viewers to vote as to whether or not you were going to keep the beard, right?
Yeah.
How did you get them to look at things from your perspective?
Well, I didn't. I put them in a position that they didn't know they were in. So what wound up happening was in 2015, I would always come back from summer. I would always take summer break and grow a beard, right? Just because I hate shaving and everything else. And then so I went back and it was still August, and I just showed up to work one day with like a little bit of a beard. And my boss at the time was like, listen, it's the summer. Who cares? It's it's fine, but just in September you shave.
Yeah.
Right. And even now in 2023, the idea of telling somebody, like you can't tell somebody even now like how to do their hair or anything like that. Like you can't. Like that's like harass. Like it's like that goes all the way up and you lose your job for that stuff.
Yeah.
But back then there were rules, right? Rick Campanelli one time came to work and he had a tiny little bit of stubble because he can't grow like a thick beard, but he had a tiny little bit of stubble. Same thing. Took a week off, everything else. And he had a shadow, like a little shadow on his chin, stubble on his chin, and then a little bit over his lip. And he went in and everybody's like, oh my God, you didn't shave. Kind of goofing on it because he couldn't grow a beard, right? And he went and got dressed and everything else, and he taped half the show before one of the bosses looked at a monitor and was like, what in the hell's that? And he had to go shave and retape the show because of a little bit of stubble on his chin, right?
Really?
So what happened was I was like, listen, let me keep the beard, right? And they were like, listen, it's not going to happen. And I go, but why don't we just do something fun with the beard, right? And my boss at the time was like, okay, cool. No problem. And I go, why don't we just like leave it up to the people? So I'll do this thing for social media and everything else where we have fans vote saying, beard yes or beard no. And then they went around the office and they polled all my coworkers and everything else. And they were really trying to manipulate it so that the votes that played out on the show would be me having to shave my beard. I knew that overwhelmingly people would say, keep the beard. So if they said on the show, we're going to leave it up to the fans to vote, and you can clearly see the amount, like beard yes, hashtag beard yes was trending on Twitter the day that we launched this.
Oh,
right?
damn.
Like it was that big. And then so they knew that if they made me shave after that, they would look horrible.
So that's how you were able to keep the beard.
So I knew that. I knew it was going to say yes. They thought that they could manipulate it into making me shave. And it was after that I got to keep the beard. And I've had it ever since.
Yeah.
I've had it ever since. And then it just went gray.
Let's go back to the phones here. Denzel, what up?
Hey, man. What's up?
Good, man. We see Denzel's name pop up a lot on Instagram, and you DM us a bunch, and you've been on the podcast a whole bunch of times. What is your question this time around?
This time, I just want to know what's your favorite celebrity impression to do?
Do you have an answer?
Favorite celebrity impression?
Who's yours?
Oh, well, yeah, I got an answer. It's good old Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Do that again.
Well, between Roz and Mocha, who's Stone Cold Steve Austin's favorite? It's got to be Roz. I like you, Roz. I don't like you that much, but I like you. And you want to know why?
Yeah.
What? Because you're a smooth, cool dude. What? You're smooth. What? You're cool. What? And you're a dude. What? And if you think Roz Weston is a smooth, cool dude, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Did he do well?
Amazing.
That was great.
The best.
Yo, no other celebrity impression on the show will come close to topping that. Do you do that Stone Cold voice a lot, Denzel?
I do it just to pop myself every once in a while, but I've been practicing over the weekend just to get it right for you guys.
Because you knew we'd ask.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, you have the perfect audience. You doing Stone Cold like that is like you got to issue a boner alert on this show. Mocha and Shem they're super into this.
Yeah. I kind of want to have you back on the show more times to do the Stone Cold voice.
Oh, God.
Roz, do you have a celebrity impression that you do? Like, we've never heard one on the show. Like, do you have one secretly outside of the show that you'll do at home?
No, not really. I don't No. Like I'm not like somebody who just like whips out the voice and can do it. Like I've never tried to do celebrity impressions at all. But I enjoy when people do celebrity impressions badly. I think that's always my favorite thing.
I think the one person who's waiting patiently or impatiently to answer, we all know, is Dammit Maury.
Oh, we do so many on our show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I started doing a new one.
Who?
Jeff Goldblum.
Go for it.
Like right now?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to talk on the phone, and I'm going to pick up the receiver, and I'm going to talk to Denzel, because Denzel really loves Jeff Goldblum. Hi, Denzel. This is Jeff Goldblum here. How are you?
You just sound like yourself.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like Jeff Goldblum. That just sounds like you.
You sound like you on lithium. like you're lithium Maury.
Okay, I have a great idea. I would like for Dammit Maury as Jeff Goldblum and Denzel as Stone Cold Steve Austin to have a conversation right now.
Yes.
And
Okay, son.
go ahead.
Are you ready to do a little bit of a conversation, Stone Cold? It's me, Jeff Goldblum. I'm a really big fan of yours.
What?
Oh, okay, great answer. That's fantastic. I really love the sound of your voice, Stone Cold. Are you cold or hot-blooded?
What?
Okay, dude, you gotta give me a little bit more than just that. I'm carrying the conversation over here.
I understand, son, but if you don't get a better Jeff Goldblum impression, I might have to go over to that radio station, stop a mud hole in you, and walk you dry. Oh, hell yeah.
Have you not seen my movie Jurassic Park, where I go along the fields and beaches with the dinosaurs?
I did see it. I didn't like it.
Oh, well, it did very well at the box office.
I did very well at WrestleMania. What's it to you, son?
You should come over for Shabbat dinner and entertain my family. We love you on the WWE.
You want me to come over to show what? Show what? What? Can I bring a beer?
I love beer.
Can I bring 2 beers?
I would love 2 beers.
How about some tequila? What?
Oh, you could mix the tequila and the beer? We could call it a Stone Cold Goldberg.
No, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't think we could call it that, son. It won't go over.
Mocha, please end this now.
No, it's not. It's a podcast, man. We got unlimited time.
We got unlimited time.
Keep going, Jeff Goldblum and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We got time, son. You got to put me over.
Well, are you going to be back in the
Maury just ran out of material.
Denzel, you're the best. Thanks so
amazing.
much. Thanks so much for joining us,
thank
man.
you to Jeff Goldblum, and thank you to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Morgan Freeman made a brief appearance.
Later, dude.
Later.
Melissa said here, my 12-year-old wants to ask you this question. If you had to have one baby body part, what would it be? Okay.
Like a baby butt?
Ew.
What?
Ew.
I would have
But you know a baby butt would, you know the size of a baby butt, right, Maury? But
Tiny.
that would be on your body. So it would just be smooth skin like everywhere, and then you would just have like a tiny baby butt.
maybe
But I don't want a baby hand.
Too late.
Too late.
What would it would have to be something that
That's not going to turn somebody off forever.
like nipples? They would just be smaller, right?
Yeah.
And they're covered up,
And
so
also,
no one
like,
would know.
Baby nipples like turn in, like they haven't like emerged.
Okay, I'm gonna
yet.
go with nipples.
You're gonna have tiny little inverted baby nipples.
Yeah.
What about baby voice?
That's not a body part though. Like, what could you do?
What you want a
Like
throat?
one finger? No, because that's a turn off. Like you can't say teeth.
No.
Oh my god.
They'll eventually fall out.
Right? Like you can't have baby teeth. Yeah, you have to say something like nipples because everything else is a turnoff. You could never, ever, 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 ever introduce that thing into any adult intimate relationship. Like if you had a baby hand, you could never touch her with it.
No. Even
like it would just like squeeze, you know,
like toes, right? Like if it was one toe, it would still be weird. Like
still be weird.
I think nipples the only safest.
It's the only thing
that you wouldn't get killed for. You wouldn't get roasted for.
No, because you can't have baby legs, right? No. Or like one baby leg.
Hey, well,
shut up, Shem.
Shut up, Shem.
Oh, my bad.
What about baby? Oh, I guess it's not about it. I was going to say like baby face.
What?
What do you mean? Like a tiny little head?
What?
Like what about a baby ear? One baby ear.
No, I couldn't do it. I'm still saying nipples.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take nipples off the table.
Oh.
See, I'm sticking with baby butt because at least you can put pants on.
Let's take nipples off the table here.
Is hair cheating?
It's cheating. Yeah. We're talking like fingers, hands, arms, legs,
knees,
ears.
Okay,
you wouldn't be able to walk.
I'm going to say, oh, yeah.
You wouldn't be able to walk.
I can't support myself.
No. You got them weak baby knees. You'd be stumbling all over the place. Right? Like, let's say you had to have a baby hand or a baby foot.
Oh, come on.
Right? And your baby foot is going to be your right foot. So you have to take driving into consideration.
Oh, no.
Okay?
But do you have the same length of leg?
Yes, but it's just on the end of it is a tiny little baby foot.
Then I have to learn to drive with my left foot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're going foot over hand, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go
like,
foot over hand.
Yeah. But what about walking, though? Like, you might as well have a stump down there.
Yeah.
Right? Now here's my thing. Do you get an adult shoe with some sort of insert for your baby foot, or do you get like a regular set of Converse and then buy baby Converse for your baby foot?
Yeah, I'd have to buy the baby version.
So you just have one tiny?
It's too much trouble to get the adult size one and have it fit.
Yeah.
Or have the baby one and
But you wouldn't I would have like some sort of fake insert where my baby foot went inside a grown person's shoe. So you couldn't even tell I had a baby foot.
Yeah, but that's
you're going to walk around with with a soft bottom, like the soft bottom.
Because that's a lot of weight for that little baby foot to
No, you're right.
Right? To be going around everywhere?
Yeah. I think you would have to. Nobody's going to say baby hand, right?
No.
I did.
You were going to say baby hand, Maury?
Because at least that way it's always there. You don't have to introduce it to somebody. Like it's not a surprise. People see it. It becomes a conversation piece.
You're describing exactly how you fit into Matthew's life.
Oh my God.
You're Matthew's baby hand. It's always there.
Wow. You have to explain it to people. That's a great conversation piece. Wow. Thank you, everybody, for all of your questions. Oh, man. Keep following us on Instagram. Keep an eye out at Kiss925. You'll see once a week we post a picture that reads Ask Roz Mocha. This is where we get the questions from. And big up and thank you to Mel, Marie, and Denzel for joining us on today's episode. You may have an opportunity to join us on a future episode. So fill up that comment section. Thank you for listening. This has been the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10
on Kiss 92.5.
Kiss925.com.
Or download the Kiss 92.5 app.